Hello. So in the news, again from Hong Kong, that a religious leader, a leading religious leader, was also taken into custody for re-education training. And so where do we find the reference to this in the Torah, in the weekly Torah portion? As we said, everything is by divine providence. Everything that happens is a revelation of God's oneness in all of creation. We think that the things that are happening to us are just happening to us individually. It's not the case. It's many times we feel, if we ask around our friends, are you feeling the same way? Do you share these same sentiments about the day, about the week? Many times you'll feel like you're all living versions of the same life. This is because we're all getting closer to Mashiach, and we're all experiencing the Chavli Mashiach, the birth pangs of Mashiach. So the idea of taking away the religious leader, which ultimately is essentially, truthfully, is the Kohen, the high priests and the leaders of the Jewish people, they're the lights, all the Jewish people are called Or La'amim, the light unto the nations. So we're the light, the lamppost for all nations of the world. So where do we see this in the story of Joseph? We talked about alienation, separation, that this leader is being taken away from his people. So where do we see this idea of separation in the life of Joseph, which is the archetypal example of alienation in the Torah, as we have been discussing? So actually, it's in the reunion of Joseph and his brothers, when he identifies himself as Joseph, because his brothers didn't know. It was many years had passed. He had a beard. He was grown up. So the identical value of both, I am Joseph, is my father still living, and the Hanukkah candle, which we're going to start Hanukkah tomorrow night, Thursday night, is alluded to. First of all, they have the same exact numerical value. Ani Yosef, Ha'od Avi Chai. I am Joseph. Is my father still living? And Ner Hanukkah both have the same exact numerical value. And we know that the Hanukkah candle is parallel to the 36 righteous individuals, tzaddikim, in every generation. So I'm reading this from this section from Rabbi Ginsburg's website, inner.org, which I'll link to. So every candle tells the story of a tzaddik, to whom we listen by contemplating on the candle. So again, this is the light, the spiritual light, which is manifest in the physical light, that lights up every Jewish home. And we promote this light by the windows, so that so everyone sees and publicizes this miracle of Hanukkah. The identical numerical value of I am Joseph, is my father still living in Hanukkah candle, is alluded to in another feature of Hanukkah, light and warmth, where the Baal Shem Tov, who loved Hanukkah very much, he would request that more light be added. When he was still the assistant Torah teacher for young boys, he put his hand over each boy's heart and blessed him, may you be a warm Jew. In fact, warm Jew, Yehudi Cham, equals Hanukkah. So we have this idea of being separated from, this pain of being separated from the true religious leader, which is the pain of being separated from Mashiach, which will herald in the age of light and revelation of godliness into the world, the everlasting era. But for now, what is the lesson? Is that we have to be a warm Jew, and we have to connect, even if it's physically distant, to the tzaddik, and ultimately to Mashiach. Even if we don't see him, even if we feel ourselves separated, we have to connect. Immediately connect with no separation, as actually physics explains in terms of quantum entanglement, what Einstein termed spooky action at a distance. We have to immediately connect to this other particle wherever he may be, this Mashiach that will redeem us and usher in the era of the redemption. Hanukkah candles are to be lit only until there are no more passerby in the marketplace, according to the meditative techniques used by Rabbi Avram Abulafia, which plays with different permutations of verses and phrases from the sages. The words passerby from the marketplace can be transformed into no more snow from the cold. This technique reveals that the Hanukkah candles we light in public and which can be seen after the sun sets are meant to illuminate and warm the darkness and coldness of the long nights of the month of Tevis. Indeed, Hanukkah candle equals snow. Ner Hanukkah equals shalag. It draws down the manifestation of the 13 attributes of mercy. The secret of his garments are like white snow and melts the freezing snow of the outer husks. So I don't know about you, but I have snow outside. And we have to remember that even if it seems cold and dark outside, that we have to, first of all, be a warm Jew or a warm non-Jew. We have to be warm to holiness. We have to be open to holiness. And we have to also take the lesson from Joseph and his brothers, the reunification, that the reunification is, I am Joseph, is my father still living? That equals the light of the Hanukkah candle, Ner Hanukkah, is that we, from the reunification, ultimately the reunification of any family member who's been estranged, even those who have passed on with the resurrection of the dead, will be reunited, that all together we're not just waiting for Mashiach, we're waiting for the reunification of families and the end of the estrangement of families, and ultimately the reunification of brotherly, sisterly bonds with parents and grandparents, children and grandchildren. And as it says in the prophecy, that all generations will be dancing together in the streets of Jerusalem. May it be immediately right now.